Howdy. Big news, just finished my book. Yep, few edits to do, but it's all there. A lot of these kind of stories give you a little sneak peek of a section called Don't Give Up. I majored in business economics at Brown University, but I didn't enjoy those classes. I didn't enjoy any classes at Brown U until I stepped foot into Lowry Marshall's theater department. For the first time on campus, I found myself excited and looking forward to going to school. I fell in love with it, so much so that after college I packed up my 1997 Toyota Corolla and made the 3,000-mile drive to LA. Hey Brad Pitt, here I come. Well, I quickly found out that living on my own costs money. Rent, food, a car payment, and something called a light bill were real things. That was the same day I realized that acting did not pay for those bills. But I was determined to not jump into a job I despised. Luckily, I had awesome parents who also didn't push me to settle into a line of work that would make me miserable. Thanks, Mom and Dad. So I painted houses for a day. I did construction work for a day. I played a lot of golf, which costs money. Whoops. My main gigs to pay the rent were substitute teaching, coaching baseball, and waiting tables. Did it for a decade. My 20s saw many a sunset when I would do all three of those in a given day. Why? Gave me the opportunity to chase my dream, to be the next George Clooney. I took hundreds of acting classes, which I loved and carry relationships to this day. I did plays, improv groups, and even wrote some scripts. There's this thing called auditioning. I learned to hate it. It's no fun, but it's a necessary evil if you want to become the next George Clooney. I've been pounding the pavement for 5 years, getting hundreds of no's and a handful of yeses. Then came an audition for a guest role on a show called Criminal Minds. The casting director had attended a workshop I was a part of and called me in to read. I'd learned this about myself. When I over-prepared, I felt much better in those audition rooms. So that's what I did here. I was dialed. I walked into that room with the confidence of Arthur Fonzarelli on Happy Days. Now, most of the time, the room is just comprised of a casting director and a camera. Well, this room was jam-packed. Every writer, every producer, the director, they were all there, staring at me as to say, "What you got, kid?" The casting director cued me with the first line, and away we went. I knocked it out of the park. It felt good in the moment, and even better after. I really thought I had a chance at getting this one. As I was walking out of the room, I waved to all the writers and producers. Then I looked directly at the casting director, and I said, "See you, Craig." It wasn't a humble goodbye either. It was one of those, "You're welcome, Craig," kind of deals. Probably winked too. Jeez. As I was walking to my car, I did what I'd done a million times before. I played the entire audition back in my head, beat by beat. It had gone so well. But something wasn't quite right. Why was there such an awkward vibe as I left the room? I checked my fly. Good to go there. I got in my car and checked my nose. All clear. Then it hit me. The casting director's name wasn't Craig. It was Scott. I had called one of the top casting directors in Hollywood Craig when his name was Scott. That's why as soon as I popped my collar and threw my "See ya, Craig" to the crowd, they all looked at each other as to say, "Who the heck is Craig?" I didn't get the part. 4 years later, I got called back into that same room, and I nailed it again. I looked at Scott David on the way out and said, "Nothing." Just a wave. I got the part. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. Jimmy V.